The Swan Kingdom. Many lakes are there in the world, blue lakes, green lakes, some with white lotuses, some with white swans sailing through, but none as beautiful as the Lake Manasa, for its water shone with all the colors of the sky. Miraculous flowers with large red cups of honey grew around its margins, and each day they dropped a little of their beauty in the lake. In this kingdom lived 60,000 swans, governed by King Dhritarashtra and Sumukha, the commander of his army. The swans were as beautiful as mermaids, and their army chief majestic and strong. But none could be compared to the king, for his feathers were of shining silver, and as he floated along in the night, it was as if the moon were on the lake. The courtiers in every palace spoke to their lords of this kingdom of swans. Many monarchs praised the wonderful nation and marveled at their governors, Dhritarashtra and Sumukha. But above all, Brahmadatta, the king of Benares, thirsted to see them. So it was that one day he gathered his courtiers and said, "Wise and faithful ones, your king will never be happy until a certain wish is accomplished." "Lord, may we know thy wish?" they asked. "I long to meet the king and the commander of the Lake Manasa. Tell me, therefore, how may this wish be granted?" replied the king. "O king," said one of the courtiers, "if I may advise, there is only one way. At your order, a lake could be made near the gates of Benares, even more splendid than the Lake Manasa. And each day these words should be cried aloud: 'The king of Benares gives this lake to all the birds in the world, and they are protected by him.' The news would soon spread, till the swans of Lake Manasa, hearing that a more beautiful lake than theirs existed in the world, would hasten to see it." The counsel was pleasing to the king, and he gave orders that the work should begin. Trees with endless blossom and flowers from distant lands were brought. The lake was filled with water so clear that the fish could be seen swimming within. When the lake was finished, it was grander by far than Manasa, and the birds and the bees and the butterflies came by the thousands to sing and dance around. Each day the call was heard, inviting the birds of other lands, and, coming from each quarter of the earth, they made the lake a meeting place. One day, 2 young swans of the Lake Manasa left their kingdom to travel through the world. Passing over Benares, they saw the enchanting lake, and, hearing the call of invitation, they descended and gazed around them. A vision of beauty met their eyes. Such trees and flowers they had not ever dreamed of. Even garlands of flowers were floating gently upon the bosom of the lake. "If only this were our kingdom!" they exclaimed. They sailed from one end of the lake to the other, and then they lifted their wings and flew back to their home. Day after day they spoke of the wonderful lake at the gates of Benares, and the 60,000 swans became restless. "Take us there, O king," they asked Dhritarashtra each day, till at last he decided to leave. But Sumukha, the thoughtful one, did not rejoice. "My king," he said to Dhritarashtra, "are you quite sure that it is wise to please your subjects in this manner? Beware of the words of men. Sweet indeed is the call of invitation, but we know little of what lies behind it. If, however, you have decided that we shall go, let us not stay longer than a day." To this Dhritarashtra agreed, and at the fall of night the host of swans raised their wings and flew to Benares. They reached the lake at dawn, and in a moment Manasa was forgotten, and they swam through the flowers as if in a dream. They floated majestically upon the placid water, shining as 60,000 stars from the sky, and word was brought to Brahmadatta, who cried aloud with joy, "Catch Dhritarashtra and Sumukha, and bring them to my palace." The king's servants were not slow in setting a trap amid the flowers, and soon Dhritarashtra's silver foot was caught in it. Deeply alarmed, the 60,000 swans arose with loud cries of pain and grief and flew wildly into the air, frantic as though their chief had been killed in battle. Sumukha alone remained with his lord. "Return to Manasa," said Dhritarashtra to Sumukha. "My subjects cannot be happy alone. Go for their sake. O Sumukha, they need their chief to protect them on the lake." But Sumukha would not hearken, and he stayed at his king's side. When Brahmadatta's servant saw that one swan was caught, and that another stood waiting at his side, he gazed at them, amazed. "Your companion is caught," he said to Sumukha, "but you, O handsome one, are free. Why then do you stay? Do you not know that the guards can seize you? Your wings are white and fair. Fly then away, brave one, and do not linger here." But Sumukha answered in a human voice, "This bird you have caught is our king. How then can I flee from here and be happy far away from him? If you wish to please me, O guard, take me with you and set him free." "Do not fear," replied the guard gently. "No harm will come to your king. True, his silver foot is caught, but only because our king Brahmadatta desires to see him. Come, therefore, on my shoulder to the palace. Our king will honor you both." It was as the man had said, and when he had brought the swans unbound to the palace of the king, and had told Brahmadatta his story, the king stood speechless with awe and amazement. But Dhritarashtra spoke to him in a sweet voice, and the heart of the king was drawn to him. They discoursed happily together, and after every royal favor had been shown to them, the two swans departed from the court and returned to Manasa. It was a joyful homecoming for all the 60,000 swans, and they all lived together happily ever after.